Hello everyone and welcome to Krastorio 2. This is Otaku Showboat and today we are going to be starting up a fresh Factorio playthrough with this particular Overhaul mod. Now, I do have several other mods installed for this particular playthrough slash map. You can find the list through a link in the description below the video to what will be my stream schedule page. Most likely, I'll just put it there. Maybe I'll rename that page at some point to include just all the YouTube related stuff. Anyway, I keep my mod lists on that page on my website. As this is the beginning of a brand new series, I would of course encourage everyone to leave a like and comment and subscribe. Comment, like, subscribe, as I always say, and hit the notification bell if you are so inclined. That way, the YouTube algorithm makes sure that people actually see this video and this series of videos. Now, I will also note that this video series is, in fact, a result of you, all of you, hitting that subscribe button to the tune of 1,000 subscribers on my channel. So, huzzah, yay, thank you so very much for helping me hit that 1,000 subscriber mark and helping to make this series happen. As a result of that, I ran a poll to determine what I should play for the 1,000 subscriber reward. And here we are with Krastorio 2 squared. However, you want to actually say that. I'll probably just say from here on out, Krastorio, because that's its current version. Krastorio. Now, the map. I have decided upon these particular slider settings, if they even matter. They probably don't. I have Resource Spawner Overhaul installed to help to spread out resources because it is compatible with Krastorio 2. I do have water enabled. I might want to change that. You know what? I am going to change that. I am going to completely disable extra water. I actually, because this is like my first real full playthrough of Krastorio, I am going to leave it on just because I don't know if I'm going to necessarily need extra bodies of water at this point. If I don't, I don't. Fine. I can change a setting later. I can add a mod to change the settings during an in-progress game and disable water. That's easy enough to do, so I will do that. We are, of course, playing with cliffs off. I have set the scale high on these both water entries just to make sure that I am not inundated, shall we say, with a whole bunch really close by. I also have a very custom setting to not, or at least I used to have a very custom setting that showed me not as much of the preview, not as much to make it load faster. It seems with the UI updates that have happened to Factorio over time as we hit release, there was a little bit of a UI thing that was going on with scroll bars that are no longer happening. Maybe this is just default now. I don't know, but I know that I at some point changed it to make it a little bit smaller on the preview. But of course, because I have Resource Spawner Overhaul, we can't see the locations of any of the resources on the map. That is just a limitation of Resource Spawner Overhaul. It will not show you the locations of resources on the preview. And as you can probably tell by the preview, I also do not have installed the Alien Biomes mod this time around. I feel that Alien Biomes just puts way too many rocks about the place, and I have grown quite frustrated over time with just the sheer volume and number of rocks that spawn with that mod when there's no options to reduce the amount of rocks that spawn with it. Um, So yeah, that is that. I am of course playing with enemies off as well as pollution off. I hate biters. I hate the very existence of biters. I don't enjoy any mechanic that undoes work that I've done, that destroys things that I've spent time building and making. That is not why I play Factorio. That is not why I play any of the mods that I play with for Factorio. I have absolutely zero interest in any mechanic that will destroy my stuff. And thus is why I will never, ever, ever actually play space exploration. So, uh, pollution is off, and I have, of course, this time around, the queue for technologies. This time around, I have the technology queue, and just so that we're clear on this, here are my startup settings. I have bonus items off. I've got increased stack size set to 400 rather than 200. I've got the Krastorio loaders, all this rebalance stuff. I have turned off finite oil, so I do have infinite oil. Why? No. Just no. Infinite oil. Always. Always infinite oil. And I've got scaling the icons for, like, bigger warehouses and chests and such, which is quite useful to have. And otherwise, yeah, there's all the settings that I have there. On the map settings, outside of all that crap for the bottleneck mod, we do have hell mod. I do have that. I will be absolutely using hell mod for this. And then in particular, we've got the resource spawner overhaul settings. This is the settings. I might need to change them if it's producing too many things. I, of course, keep the richness as high as possible because I really hate having to move mining drills. So I would much prefer building a thing and never having to rebuild it again. You probably get the theme here. That's how I play. I want to build it and then it's done and it's there forever until I change it myself. I don't want to be forced into having to rebuild something or move something later. So there's all of the per player stuff as well, just so that we get a good understanding of that. I may have to change some stuff as we get into the game, but that is all of that. Let's play Krastorio 2. And of course, we are playing in version 1.0 of Factorio, so we get this nice little pan of the camera to show that we have, in fact, had our ship destroyed on this map. Alright, so quality of life research is installed, of course. The infinite researchers are installed now. The Krastorio. Welcome to Krastorio! Etc. Stuff things. Stuff things. There's a wiki if we need info. So there's gonna be like stuff around the place. I see we've got like damaged assemblers and a damaged ship reactor that I guess has power as part of it. Like lots of stuff. Give me really. Okay, I need to get used to that. Oh, and then of course, like one of the first things I need to do is change my colors. What are my colors again? I've completely forgotten. I have it somewhere in my 0711 071 171. That's my color. That's cobalt blue for reference. For future reference, that is cobalt blue. I don't have any quick start stuff enabled this time, so we're doing things as they're intended to be done. I would hope. As close to intentional as possible. So it looks like here with this whole wreck thing, I'm going to want to do some cleanup. First, looks like that gave me an iron gear wheel. Great. Wonderful. Thanks for that. I guess I should look at my, resources. Copper, coal, raw metals, raw rare metals, and iron. Pretty standard. Crude oil patches, a nice iron over there. I am, this time around, if you do watch my videos on the regular basis, hello, that would be Ollie. Hi. So if you do watch my videos on a regular basis, you will know that I tend to use the Realistic Ores mod, and I do not have that installed for this particular playthrough. I don't know how well it interacts with Krastorio, shall we say. I'm sure it works just fine, but because there are probably going to be people here who have not seen previous content of mine for Pyandon's mods. What are you doing? This kitten. This kitten. He's got his rear haunches on my shoulder. Hi. What are you doing? You're just gonna sit there and fall asleep? What are you doing? This Ollie. Ugh. Pressure on my back. Give me stuff. We must continue. We must progress. This cat. This kitten. Hi. I see your face. Ah, this kitten. So, Krastorio 2, if you aren't aware, if you have somehow joined me and don't know anything about Krastorio 2, it is a light overhaul mod, is how I would describe it. It is designed to... this is a chest, actually. I don't... It's like, do I want to get rid of the chest? So what it does, is it adds a lot. It's very much vanilla plus, is generally speaking how I tend to think of Krastorio. Just more added to vanilla, and still feeling very similar to a standard experience for Factorio. Of course, I don't have biters, so we aren't going to be getting any of that mechanic stuff in this particular playthrough. But in particular, Krastorio does add a lot of stuff to the later phases of the game. Let's get rid of this entire hunk of spaceship. Are you licking me? You're licking yourself and are like clipping my hair. You're clipping the hair on my head with that tongue, mister. Please get rid of that humongous thing. I don't want to get rid of those assemblers because those are free. Free assemblers. Yes, I will absolutely take free assemblers. Meow. Was that you? Or was that Dolly? Dolly? Do I hear a Dolly? We have two kittens, by the way. There's this one behind me, which is Ollie. Hello. There's Dolly. I see the other one. The Dolly is looking at me after meowing. Expect that, by the way, over the course of this playthrough. This may just be a playthrough for YouTube, but yeah, kittens. They have access to the room, and they will interrupt. And I'm not going to edit it out either. You're going to enjoy the kittens as much as I do. Mm-hmm. That's how I'll word that. Absolutely. That's the wording I'll use. You will enjoy them as much as I do while I am recording these videos and their interruptions. It's always time for cat time. Kitten. They are only 5.5 months at this point. Almost half a year old. Oh my goodness. As of mid-September 2020, they'll be 6 months old. Alright, so we've got stuff, it seems. We've got sentinels, which are, as far as I remember, smaller versions of radars. Gives visibility over a small area. Yes, without scanning. So The equivalent in the Pi Suite would be the local radars, except these have an even smaller area in which they reveal the map to you. So I guess I can just place the shelter, by the way. The shelter actually... Oh, right, pick that up. It provides a bit of power, so what I really want to do is have the shelter placed... It does not provide power, does it? It has 200 slots and gives 120 kilowatts of passive power. Okay, but does it power the things next to it? No, you'll still need some electric power poles to actually provide the power. So I will keep it near these assembling machines. Krastorio also... Oh gosh, so Krastorio also changes the vanilla power poles to be a little different. To be just a little different. Damaged ship assembler. Damaged ship research computer. Okay, that's research. And this will be even more power, I guess. Like, this is an accumulator? This is the equivalent of an accumulator, as far as I am aware. Alright. Good to know. So I have played, like, intro stages to Krastorio 2 before, but I have not gone particularly far. For instance, I haven't gone through anything, I think, beyond chemical science packs. Like, that's around the equivalent time point where I have stopped. Speaking of science packs, they are not actually beakers like in the vanilla game in Krastorio. They are chips, or tech cards, shall we say, and you make these progressively more and more complex types of tech cards in order to actually do your science, and your science centers will be processing and accepting different levels of these tech cards, so you actually have to build better science labs over time to research using these tech cards and such. So that's another key difference with Krastorio that makes it really interesting, to say the least. And of course, it's now been out for a little while. A lot of balance updates have happened to Krastorio, so it's a good time to explore and see what is in store for everyone if you decide to play this. So I guess first thing is first. I do have a whole bunch of iron plates, not any copper plates though, which I find quite interesting, and no stone either. Uh, hmm, stone? That is that is the downside of not having alien biomes, is that vanilla resource generation does not have anywhere near the same amount of stone as in alien biomes. So I do have to go around to find some rocks. Ideally, the huge rocks that have coal inside of them, as is the case with this one. By the way, vanilla features, just to note, if you are brand new to the channel and you haven't seen any of my other Factorio content before, part of the base game is this debug settings menu when you push the F4 button. And in this menu, I have this up here, this FPS UPS monitor. It is this show you FPS checkbox right here. That's what that one is. Then there's the show debug info in tooltips. In particular, this is good because this shows you exactly what the stack sizes are for the various items that you have in your inventory. And I have enabled, currently, I have show logistic robots on the map. This will put little squares, little yellow wireframe type squares on the map view, when you're in the map view, where you have all of your current robots flying. And this is a good way to be able to spot check any inefficiencies in your logistic network. So it will show you very clearly where you have a whole bunch of robots congregated on trying to recharge at a specific recharge station. It'll also show if you have robots that are sort of stranded trying to deliver something to an area they can't actually reach because they don't have the battery power to get that far, and you don't have other recharging stations nearby, so they end up going out as far as they can and then come right back where they started, and they just loop back and forth like that. Uh, having this option to show that so you can see it as it happens really does help as you get a much larger base later on. And then, of course, I have the number one most important feature of anything in Factorio, and that is the show recipe icons on the map checkbox. This does exactly what it says on the tin. For every single machine that you have that runs a recipe, this will show what recipe that machine is running when you are in the map view on the little spot where the machine is. So right now, none of my machines have a recipe assigned to them. As I walk over and actually assign a recipe to one of these damaged assembling machines, you'll be able to see that that will be reflected as I move out of the way, as I turn on the alt mode, that is reflected here. You can see I now have the little stone furnace icon to indicate that I am making stone furnaces out of this damaged assembler. There you go. That is, as they say, that. Alright. So I've got a few units of stone. What do I want to do with all of that? Well, we do have access to wind turbines if I want power, but I think the initial things that we need to do is to make some burner mining drills. Just a few of those with our initial stone. It's gonna make some stone furnaces as well. In fact, I'll need to have stone furnaces. Now, I'm going to take about 6 of these and place them just like so with a starter unit of coal. And what this is going to do, it's going to make coal, it's going to output into the next machine, it's going to output into the next machine, it's going to output into the next machine, and then it's going to keep on looping and looping and looping and looping until it reaches the stack size, which I have set to be 400 units of coal. So that is going to be my primary source of fuel for the moment as I make my way through this. I'm also going to make 4, 5, 6 of these, and I am going to start mining. It looks like the first thing I might want to get is some copper, but we shall see. So, first science is wood and copper cables. Great, I can actually start crafting that immediately. Just immediately, based off the stuff that was in my doohickey. All of the trash from the wreckage site. So I'm just going to go ahead and place all that in. I technically have access to burner inserters at the moment. Sure, make some of those. Not like I have much of a plan regarding all of that. And you know what? I've got a research computer right there. So what do I want to research first? Well, I think the very first thing is going to be this nice little automation core, which will need copper, as well as iron sticks and iron gear wheels. And that's going to enable us to get into fluid handling for water as we work towards getting steam power, as well as crushers to process into glass. We want to get down to greenhouses to automate our wood production because that is rather important when our basic science here, our basic tech cards, cost wood to make. So that's a thing to work on. Although I need to see and make sure that yes, these basic tech cards do get used pretty ubiquitously as we go forward. So we need a source of wood. And fortunately, in Krastorio 2 here, wood is just water and power, which, yeah, that's great. I'm happy that it's just water and power and not actually trees that you have to chop down or logs that you have to chop into wood, as is now the case with both angels and the pie suite. Of course, it's always been that way with pie suite, but anyway. I definitely want to get into automation and electronics as well, and steel and engines and just all the things. And this is going to be very much feeling really like a vanilla playthrough. A lot of these techs early on are going to be pretty much identical to vanilla techs, unlocking very vanilla things that we get access to. We just need different stuff overall to make a lot of these tech cards. Like, for example, chemical science here, we now need glass, red circuits, the blank tech cards, and sulfuric acid. Now, the red tech cards, of course, are in the normal red tech cards. The red circuits. Red circuits are part of standard vanilla chemical science packs, but other stuff in here that's pretty different. Pretty different. Just like these logistic tech cards under vanilla settings, these would cost you a combination of the yellow regular inserters as well as yellow belts to make logistic science packs. But now it's taking iron green circuits and these blank tech cards, which is beautiful. And these basic tech cards, blank tech cards, I should say, are iron and copper cables. I will very much have to get used to saying all of these new terms and learning all of these new terms. I am, of course, going to add that to the queue, as well as add in the what? Add in the what? Let's get into the Steam power. That sounds like a wonderful idea. Get into steam power first, then get into the greenhouse. Yes, then get into greenhouse through glass, because that will help a lot. Of course, I will also need automation on top of all that. So there's all of the techs. I need 10, I need 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80, 120, 170, 180 units total of these guys, which is a lot. That's 180 units of wood. That's enough wood, and 180 units of copper cables. That's enough copper cables. And I need to put these on my hotbar somewhere. I need to assign that into that, into that, into that. Actually, I want you there for now, and I want my small power poles available, and I want chests and assembling machines there, and this can be pipe. Where's my pipes? Beautiful, wonderful, glorious pipes. So in here, by the way, pipes are a little bit different. There are greater distances on the piped ground, as well as the, shall we say, red belts, and the blue belts. Red belts and blue belts have greater amounts of stuff and things. That's being very, very specific. Greater amounts of underground distance. It's I think 20 for the red belt and 30 on the blue belt on its underground distance, and then the standard pipe to ground has a distance of 20, as opposed to like not that 10. I think is the regular pipe Alright, I need to continue to build things. I have 6 of these burner miner drills. This is going to go... Oh, it's so tempting to go over and just immediately start copper, but no, we're going to do 6 into iron. I have no idea what the actual ratio is here. Even distribution is awesome, by the way, is an awesome mod to use. Lets you just throw all those things into the doohickey. Oh yes, and in Krastorio, you can absolutely assign recipes to stone furnaces. It's glorious. I love it. Number one most important thing is being able to do that. Oh hey, and I absolutely have the show resources as they spawn option enabled on RSO. So there we go. We've got a bunch of these resources. Now it won't show immersite or crude oil. Those are things that will not get shown on the map, uh, like spawned in, just because those are special individual nodes, and RSO just doesn't spawn in individual nodes. So this has been a lot of information that I have just talked about, and it has been half an hour already. Wow, this yeah, I've spent a lot of time just talking, just like information explosion out of my mouth over this past 30 minutes as we've gone into the game and begun actually doing science like immediately, because sure, why not? We're playing Krastorio. It actually has a decent early game. Unlike many other Overhaul mods to Factorio, this actually feels pretty good this early game. I feel like this is better than even the vanilla early game, which, for reference, I think is a terrible, 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 terrible experience overall through the entire burner phase, quote unquote, of the early game. You spend 20 minutes to an hour, depending on your experience with the game, in that phase. In a playthrough that can be upwards of 20 hours or hundreds of hours or 1,000 hours, depending on your speed and what your plans are over the course of the game. And it's just superfluous. It's superfluous. I would rather just start with Steam. Like, just start me with Steam, or start me with the ability to get into automation immediately. Like, that I think is like the solution here for Krastorio, is it just gives you stuff. You just get stuff after mining the wreckage of the of the ship that you were in. You just mine the wreckage, and there you go. You're good. You're good to go. I'm just going out and hunting down rocks at this point because I have not much else to do, and I need stone, and I need stone to make mining drills to mine stone. Isn't that beautiful? That is a wonderful thing, actually. Tempted to make some wind turbines. Don't need them quite yet, though. I will not be wasting my time with them. Of course, the only reason why I can even go out this far to look for stones is that I don't have biters enabled, and I will never have biters enabled. You can't make me. Don't even try. So as for how long these videos are actually going to be, I don't know. I don't know how long we're going to go for. It's been about half an hour. I would say that this is, generally speaking, my limit. I should end off the video right around this point, if I were actually sane. But am I sane? Am I sane? This is the first video of the series. Should it be longer? I think it should probably be a little bit longer. That is interesting. It produces more than it can use in this. Huh. Power's fine. So, you know what? We're fine. We are fine here. Have some beautiful coal. Alright, I don't need all of you in that. That's autopilot. Yeah, I'll blame my internal autopilot on that. I need to actually fill chests with stone, and the others can be stone bricks. Yes, that is what I want. a sufficient supply, a consistent supply of stone. And then the next set is going to be copper. I guess that's where we'll end, actually. We will end with the setting up of some wonderful burners on copper. Yes, yes, it all makes lovely degrees of sense. Lovely, lovely, wonderful degrees of sense. Alright, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all the coal, and assign the doohickey. Wait, what's that other one? Ah, rare metals. I don't need those right now. Rare metals, I think... Oh, hey, we got tech. Yay! And onwards immediately to basic fluid handling. I'm thinking this requires chlorine. Yes, it requires a fluid in order to mine the rare metals, fluid that we do not have. At this point, I'm guessing that this fluid chemistry is going to give us access to chlorine, ideally with a method of avoiding the hydrogen. Ah, there it is. Excess fluid handling. Or fluid excess handling. There we go. There's the fluid burner. The equivalent in the pie suite would be the sinkhole. We are going to be using a lot of these. A lot of these. Burn. Unknown fluid. Burn. Water. Steam. Ooh. Ooh. That's the thing the pie suite doesn't do. On its fluid burner. Ooh. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I like. I like. I like. I don't know why one would need to burn crude oil, but there we go. You have that option. You can burn dirty water. Good, 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 good. This is absolutely, I think, addressing most everything I needed to address by having this. I do hope there is a solid one as well. Or I won't, or that I won't even need a solid one because no byproducts to deal with. That would be ideal. That would be really ideal, but this doesn't unlock until green science. So we have our basic tech cards, which is like a pre-science type of thing, and then our automation red science and then green science to follow the vanilla progression. This doesn't unlock until here. But fluid chemistry unlocks at red. So the question is, the point is that I might need rare earth metals before green science. That I don't know off the top of my head right now. That is something I need to research. Like, myself, find out this information. That is a question that I immediately have in my mind is, do I need that research? Also, mining speed, it's like, do I care about the mining speed right now? Do I really care about that? Do I really care? Sure, I'll tag it to the end. Alright, we've got the mining going on the iron, the copper, the stone, and stone bricks, and we've got science going, and we've got a small little supply of coal. I think that's going to cover it for the first video here, because as we go forward, we're just going to be scaling this up and then moving on towards actual power. So with that, I would like to very much thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have enjoyed this video, it is the beginning of a brand new series, so please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat, so you can leave a follow over there if you haven't already done so. You can also support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat, and I will, of course, see you all on the next one.